All right guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how to escape the bunker. I'm going to start off with a very basic method of getting your golf ball out of the bunker if that is your main priority. Then we're going to look at more of an advanced stage. And if you want to skip straight to that, hit this timestamp and you can jump much more to the advanced level. That's going to be more based on trying to get the ball much closer to the hole to get up and down more often. So if you're the golfer that's petrified when your ball goes in the sand and it might take you 4 or 5 times to get out, you might hit behind and duff it in front of you, you might hit the lip, you might, even if you get it out, you might thin it all the way through the back and into another hazard. Well, this first part is really important to you. First thing is getting this ball out of the sand, getting it onto the green. Don't even worry about the flag just yet. The first thing we need is loft. Use something like a 56 degree sand wedge, or even more loft, more like a 60 degree lob wedge. Loft is going to really help us. If we can have a club that's got angle, it's going to help get underneath the golf ball and pop it out up onto the green. Even on a sand wedge shot, it's not a terrible idea just to slightly open the club face. And what that means is, if this is dead straight, so this front edge of the golf club is dead straight, all we're going to do is slightly turn it to the right and then grip it. What that does, it adds even more loft to the face of the golf club. That's going to really help us pop the ball out. The next thing we're going to do, we want to get a nice base. So shuffle your feet into the ground, get low, and have this ball in line more with the front of your stance. That's where we're looking to have the ball position. When we come to hit the golf ball, we're actually not looking to hit the ball. We want to hit behind the golf ball. Now I'm going to draw a line here just for illustration purposes. We want to hit the sand about 2 inches behind the golf ball, and that pillow of sand effectively splashes the golf ball out onto the green. You don't have to try and lift it. You're going to hit the sand and make sure you hit with speed. And we're going to make sure that club continues through the golf shot. Big no-nos. We do not want to see your club hit the sand and stop. No, do not do that. We don't want to see you come into here and lean back and try and scoop the golf ball up. And the last point I want to get across as well, do not worry about the flag. Like, sometimes the flag might be on the side of the bunker that's harder to get out. If all you're trying to do is get out of the sand to get even somewhere close to the green or on the green, go for the easier shot option. For example, here, look at the left-hand side, the bank is much, much smaller. I don't have to get anywhere over as much hill or height. And I can look at not worrying about the flag, shuffle my feet in. I'm going to hit a couple of inches behind the sand and then splash it out. See the sand came firing out of the bunker there. My club carried on past almost the same point as I went back. Granted, it's nowhere near the flag, but my next shot I'm putting. The next shot isn't in the bunker again. And if you're just trying to escape sand, get it out of the hazard, that is very, very important. So that's where my ball was. That's where the line was. And notice I've splashed the sand level with the line. I've taken this much sand, and that's what helped the golf ball elevate and get onto the green. So before we come on to advanced level, I want to talk a little practice routine that you can do. Now, truth be told, how many times you practice bunker shots? Probably very rarely, because it's not that exciting. Sometimes the golf course doesn't have the facility to do so. So if you go out on your own and you have a nice quiet afternoon, maybe throw 5 or 6 balls in a bunker and practice, but also practice this little trick. Draw a line in the sand and start from over here, and your goal is here is to get the club to enter at the line. So do a fairly big swing and get your club to hit the line. Go all the way along, hitting the line. Hitting the line. Just notice there I'm making sure the sand carries on through. I'm not slowing down. There's loads of sand coming out the bunker, but I'm getting really good at hitting that line. If you notice that you're hitting too far behind the line, you're probably leaving too much weight on the right-hand side. If you're not hitting the line at all, you're possibly not low enough. If you're hitting the line too far beyond, it means you're moving your weight too far to the left. It's a really good trick and a great little practice to help you become much, much better in the sand. Now, sometimes when you hear the commentators on TV talk about when the ball goes in the bunkers for some of the best players in the world, and they say, oh, it's not too bad, because actually they don't mind the ball going in the bunker. because there's some level of consistency and they're really good in bunkers. It's much better than being on the side of a bunker bank or in the rough. We need to get you to that level. Now, when we're looking at the advanced level, we're thinking about getting the ball out is a given, hopefully. We're now trying to get much closer to the hole. So there's a couple of things you need to be aware of. First off, have a couple of different options of club choice. Well, we talked about just using the sand wedge a minute ago. Now you might want to experiment with using your lob wedge. More height gets the ball to stop quicker, much easier to get out of much higher faced bunker shots. That's what we're going to play now. Then we've got to think about the shot in particular. So I'm going to go to the flag this time more rather than going to the left. When I'm in this bunker situation here, I'm, yes, looking at the bank. What height do I need to get over the lip? But then I'm thinking, where do I want the ball to land? How is it going to react when it hits the green? Am I going to play a splashy shot where it splashes out and then rolls down to the hole? Am I going to play one where I try and nip it a little bit closer to the ball and almost get the ball to spin and stop? They're things that you can experiment with. If you want to play the splashy shot, you're looking at hitting more sand behind the golf ball and using that pillow of sand to splash the ball out. Typically you don't get as much spin. If you want one which much more spin, you're trying to hit slightly closer to the ball, which is higher risk. You need more club head speed and you need more loft. So those little experiments you can play with, and again, if you practice and get really good at those, you'll start to be able to picture different shots. So for me here, I like to play much more of a splashy type golf shot. I like to hit quite a lot of sand. I'm not going to get the ball to spin, I'm going to get it to roll down the hill and closer to the flag. I'm allowing the break and the contours to get it closer to the hole. Another thing as well I'll change, when I'm setting up to the golf ball here, I'm going to open the face much more than we talked about in level 1. I'm going to almost have this face flat to the ground pretty much to give me loads and loads of loft. Therefore I'm going to require more speed. I'm going to shuffle my feet in really low and I'm going to get myself lower to the ground. I'm almost feeling like my legs are flexed, my chest is slightly lower because I want to make sure I hit down into the sand and keep the loft on the club face pointing up to the sky all the way through the shot. So we're looking at where I want the ball to land, we thought about technique, and then we've just got to picture that really nice shot. Think about where it's going to land. Don't worry about the kind of hazards or trying to get out of the bunker. We're thinking more the positives. I want the ball to land just on that top edge, roll down to the flag. I'm going to open the face. I'm going to play it with a nice little splash shot. Sit, 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 sit. Oh. All right, guys, not my closest, granted, but it's not bad. So when you go in there, pick a point, have a little bit more range of options of what club you might go for, not always a sand wedge, go with a lob wedge, and then practice it and get really good at getting out the bunkers and getting really close every time. Thanks for watching.